Who is your don't overreact, Olu?
Okay, my overreact is Steeler offense. Okay, and Tomlin would believe. Okay, so yes, they were bad. It's the first week. And they played the 49ers defense. That's a tall task for any team at
Elite
all. Much
defense.
less a team that's just finding its groove. A team with a new offensive line. So I would say don't overreact. If anything, we can trust Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season, so we can trust him. Kenneth Pickett had a wonderful offseason. So he's in his second year. So we expect a second year jump. Okay. Judge Pickens is also coming to his own. The second coming
George
of
Pickens.
what would be Judge Pickens. So I feel, and then the offensive line has been revamped, and they also have a tight end in Darren Waller, who's essentially a sixth offensive lineman. So I do feel we shouldn't overreact based on what happened on Sunday, as bad as it looked, because it did look bad.
I think
They're
we
gonna
meant
have
Darnell Washington.
Darnell
is your sixth
Washington, not
offensive
Darren
lineman.
Waller.
Darryl, what did I say? Darryl Washington? D. Washington. What about that? Let's go. D. Washington. Okay. So let's not overreact on this past Sunday. They really had a tall task that any other team probably won't survive. Okay. So they will bounce back. They will have a bounce back game, and they will have a good season.
I do have a rebuttal to that, but I will save that until the end. But go ahead.
Let's move on. Matchups to avoid. You don't want these guys in your lineup. If you don't have to put them in, don't put them in. Shed, who's your matchup to avoid?
So, contrary to what Olu said, please don't put in Kenny Pickett against the Cleveland defense. Please don't. I'm going to overreact in week 2, contrary to what Olu said, because the Steelers, they have no Deontay Johnson, keep in mind, right? And Cleveland defense, this defense, guys, is legit. Last week, they gave up just 142 total yards, 75 rushing, 65 passing. And this was against a $275 million man in Joe Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and Mixon, which is no easy feat. Just 142 yards. Last week, the defense had 10 QB hits, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and allowed only 3 points. When Cleveland defense, when they're playing man-covered, second-year cornerback Martin Emerson does an outstanding job of matching up against T. Higgins. Higgins had 8 targets, and I know Matt's very familiar with this because he had Higgins in his league. Higgins had 8 targets in the game, but didn't record one single reception.
That is unbelievable.
Emerson's and that defense shut him down. As for the pass rush, 4-time Pro Bowler Myles Garrett was nearly double-teamed every single play and still had 4 QB hits and a sack. While on the other side, Pickett and that offense struggled against the 49ers last week, losing 30-7 and being shut out the entire second half. Pickett threw 2 interceptions while the team only rushed for 41 total yards. I see the Browns defense going to Pittsburgh and handling business.
Olu.
What say you, Olu? What say you?
Shed has a way of just, stomping all over your hopes and dreams. You're the second one he's stomped all over this podcast.